some very important comments made. And again, I reiterate that we should keep up our work, which is so that we're informed, because you cannot make any progress if we're not informed. And that implies both to academics and indeed to journalists. And I appreciate the problems journalists have. And I think that we mustn't underestimate the climate in Jammu and Kashmir itself, because when you have an overbearing government or authority or security forces, and your families are threatened, it's very difficult to carry out your tasks properly. And that's why, again, we in the Western world are very blessed, because we tend to take for granted the fact that we can have freedom of press, freedom of speech, and indeed freedom of movement. I think we must build on the fact, which was raised by Ahmed Qureshi, that what has happened in Jammu and Kashmir has not been appreciated by the international community. At the same time, I think we must be aware that there is a new dynamic in play. I personally, unfortunately, don't believe that the fact that India and China are having a confrontation way up in Ladakh, which is a remote area where nobody can go, nobody knows the terrain properly. I'm afraid I don't see this as a catalyst for peaceful resolution. If anything, I think it's going to make India more belligerent towards resolution of the issue. As we know, India doesn't like being dictated to by other countries, and it likes to follow its own path. And I think the fact that the economy is not doing well is often a reason to look around and initiate some other activity which will bring the population together behind the government. So I think this is something definitely to watch. We are in most unpredictable times, and that means we everywhere, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we can't operate in the normal way that we, again, all our lives we've taken for granted that we can get on airplanes, we can go places, we can meet face to face. Thank goodness we have the modern technology. Imagine if this had happened 20 years ago, we wouldn't be having webinars the way we've been having webinars all the time. That is one advantage, but one cannot underestimate the fact that we are becoming all rather more tribal, less able to go out, less able to interact, less able to meet people, because of this peculiar circumstance, which, as I say, is really beyond our control and was beyond our control. So I think it's to keep active, keep informed, and keep alert, and think about those who are less well off than ourselves, and try and empathize with what they're going through. And that still remains the inhabitants of this state of Jammu and Kashmir. So thank you again, Asada.